Cover in Gears of War is more than just a means to deflect oncoming fire from your opponents. The best Gears players make cover more than just a defensive shield to save their hide, but rather an offensive weapon to cement their pride. There are a lot of tactics that can be implemented into your game that will help you elevate into the next level. Let's start off with some easy tips for the new faces in the audience. The first is grenade tagging walls and cover. If you weren't aware, all forms of grenades can be tagged to walls by simply having it in your possession and meleeing the wall that you wish to stick the grenade to. This is fantastic for watching your back when your teammates are a bit on the unreliable side, as well as giving you the intel where the enemy might be. With Gears of War being third person, it creates an opportunity to use cameras to your advantage. You'll be able to see around corners that you wouldn't normally be able to see in first person. Camera peeking creates a great opportunity for you to be able to check around corners before making your presence known. It also means you can bait enemies in and take them out before they realise what's going on. Normally, if you're sat in cover, the enemy can occasionally see your weapon or body part, meaning they'll be ready for you. If they can't see you, they'll assume you're gone and aggressively and recklessly push forward. Another great advantage to this is being able to set up power weapons like the M-bar, long shot and the torque bow. Usually if you're spotted in the open with a weapon like this, players will run and hide. If you set them up before for a shot behind cover before peeking out, you will increase the chances of picking up kills, as the enemy will think it's safe to move about. Cover is a great way to make your gameplay more intimidating and diverse by using it as a tool to help your gunfights. In the last episode I spoke about wall bouncing and how it can make you a more lethal force in a duel. If you want to see more about that, there will be a link in the description below. So let's talk about a few more ways you can use cover to your advantage in a fight. Firstly, just because there is cover between you and the enemy does not mean it can't be easily negated from the equation. We'll talk about some basic in-game features revolving around cover. You can grab your opponent and drag them over mountable cover when you're sat opposite them by pressing X. You can then perform an execution with the Y button for an easy kill. This can quite easily be countered by pressing the B button as they attempt to grab you. You can also move out of the way completely and they'll miss the grab. You can also mount over the cover using A or LB depending on your control scheme, stunning your enemy and pressing Y for an execution. If you don't feel like pressing Y, you can also blow them away with whatever gun you have in your possession. Now that we've got a bit of revision work out of the way, let's talk about the hardcore stuff. There are also different types of cover shots you can deploy into your game. Let's start with the standard blind fire. This is simply done by holding your fire trigger RT. Your accuracy is reduced, but your enemy has almost no target zone to aim at. This is an effective tactic when your opponent is close by or if there are multiple enemies in the area. Next, the more nimble and accurate pop shot. It's simply quickly pulling the left trigger and the right trigger afterwards. A much more accurate and reliable shot, which is good for enemies that require a bit more accuracy or at a slightly further distance. This does, however, leave you very exposed for a period of time and creates a great opportunity for enemy snipers. Alright, so pretty straightforward. Let's step it up a gear. There's a quicker variation of this called the slap shot. It's kind of like a hybrid between the blind fire and the pop shot, which performs the same actions but keeps you almost completely covered and fires much faster. This time you need to be in cover that allows you to look to the side and above the cover itself. You need to press these buttons quickly or it can result in a blind fire shot or not working properly. The faster you do this, the faster the shot usually ends up being. Press RT first. This charges up the shot. After you've done that, you immediately want to push the left thumbstick in the direction you're firing to or the cover you're firing out of, and finally press LT almost as you're finishing the left thumbstick action. Make sure you practice this one and give it some time because you have to make sure the timing is perfect to get it right. This next section will be utilizing your cover and evade button, which is commonly A. However, I play on tournament layout, which makes it LB. For convenience, I'll address it as the A button. The next shot is referred to as a back A and one of my personal favorites. I like to refer to it as a sweep shot as it creates a sweeping motion with your gun. But again, that's just me. Simply get onto any cover and pull back in the opposite direction of the wall and shoot. This is great for being aggressive towards players already in cover or advancing forward. It works much better when you hip fire. Another shot you might see quite regularly is the up A, which I like to refer to as the charge shot, as you charge forward at your enemy while doing it. Simply get onto the corner of a piece of cover, press upwards on your control pad with your left thumbstick and press A. You'll start to charge around the corner of the cover, at which point you can fire your gun off. This shot is great for catching out enemies who are advancing forward, especially if they're in a roadie run, cover slide, or evade animation. Now for a really difficult shot to pull off, something called the reaction shot. This is basically an up A shot that fires backwards. It's very hard to pull off and requires a lot of buttons to do it. The most practical time to do it is as you're sliding into cover. As you're sliding into the corner of cover, you want to rotate your camera using your right thumbstick around to the direction of the enemy location. When you hit the wall, you want to perform an up A by pushing forward on the left thumbstick and A. As your body is turning around the corner, you want to pull the fire trigger to shoot. You'll see that your shot fires backwards. You can then choose to continue your run afterwards by holding the A button or let go to stop. This shot is good for enemies that have moved past you and in situations you want to put shots down whilst running away. In all honesty, this shot has the lowest practicality in my opinion and only works in very specific situations. In most circumstances, it will be easier and better to do something else. Finally, in Gears of War, you may have noticed every character is right-handed. When a player is turning a left-hand corner, it is referred to as right-hand advantage. So you can imagine approaching a right-hand corner that because you're right-handed, you can't approach the corner without being exposed to the enemy. Hence the term right-hand advantage. You may also have noticed if you approach cover from your right shoulder, you'll almost pop all the way out and be extremely exposed. To combat this, you can do something called the lefty flip, which changes the trigger hand to your left. Simply go up to the edge of cover from your right hand shoulder and you'll notice your character changes the hand the gun is in. Next, aim out of the edge of cover with your gun and you'll notice your player will be holding the trigger via its left hand and balancing the barrel with its right. Finally, you want to simply peel off the wall by pushing the left thumbstick in the opposite direction you're facing and you'll remain in the left-handed stance. This is great for catching people out on this now left-hand advantage that people wouldn't normally expect, as you'll be utilising the camera system to peer around walls that oncoming enemies can't see you behind. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed the video or you learnt something new here today. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about this video, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I'll see you very soon. Peace out.